from the Kitchen Store in Lincoln Court, it's time for Cookin' with Carol.
And welcome to Cookin' with Carol. We are in for a feast today. We're going to be doing a Spanish feast complete with paella and flan. So I do hope you'll stick around to see these wonderful dishes as we use a lot of garlic, a lot of seafood, and many fresh ingredients, and a lot of delicious sweet treats for that end. So don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back. All right, let's take a look at the ingredients for our paella. We'll need some olive oil, some chicken breast, some lean pork, chorizo, green bell pepper, onion, garlic, salt, pepper, cayenne, rice, chicken broth, saffron, chopped fresh parsley, shrimp, pimentos, frozen peas, mussels, and dry white wine. Well, all right. We've got some paella going here, and paella is a wonderful traditional Spanish dish. It is named after the pan it's cooked in, which is a paella pan right here. And you start off first by taking 2 tablespoons of olive oil, and you put in there 2 boneless chicken breasts already cut up, which I've got cut up into cubes here. Then we'll also put in there a ½ pound of lean ground pork cubed, and you can see how pretty that is. Put that in there, just a nice lean pork chop, cubed up. We'll also put in there 2 tablespoons of chorizo sausage. Now this is a wonderful sausage. This is actually a Mexican chorizo sausage, and that is made with fresh pork. Now a Spanish chorizo is made with smoked pork, and the Spanish version is a little harder to find, so that's generally why I use the Mexican chorizo in my paella. And you want to, of course, take and saute these in a pan. Brown them on a medium-high temperature for approximately 5 to 6 minutes until they're done through the center. And the chorizo has a lot of flavoring and seasoning in there, so it's going to add a lot to our dish. If you want to shake it a little bit, get the oil underneath there, that'll lift it off the bottom of the pan real good. Of course, you want to brown it and sear it first, so we'll just let it be for a bit of time and let it cook. And be happy, and it's going to start to smell great in here today. All right, now we also have to cut up a green bell pepper here, so let's get to it. Cut that in half and just remove the seeds as best as you can. I'm using a green bell pepper today. You can use any color you want to. I'll let you. Woo! We're going to throw it a little bit too. Maybe I'll juggle for you later. I don't know. We'll see what happens. This is the what do you call it? This is the comedy portion of the show here. We're gonna chop this up into nice slices, and then we're going to turn it the other way, and then just dice it up nicely. There we go. When I picked out this bell pepper at Tom Thumb when I was shopping, oh, it just smelled so good. I mean, it was really early in the morning, and I just could smell all the wonderful produce. And this especially, I was smelling this green bell pepper as I was shopping the whole time. I just loved it. All right, so we've got that pretty bell pepper. Let's check on our meat here a bit. We'll just cook that. I wish you could smell this at home. We haven't even got the garlic in here yet, so you know this is going to be good. All right, we're going to peel up an onion here and get it chopped up. Good basic ingredients that start your paella. This paella is kind of a paella for the 90s. So if you want that 90s style cooking, then you want to go with something like this, because traditionally paella will use chicken pieces, with the bone, and it'll use the shrimp peeled that has not been peeled, so it has quite of a lazy type of a benefit, the traditional paella. It's generally done out in a barbecue, and but you could do it, of course, indoors nowadays. That's the way to do it. And you can cook it on top of the stove, or you can finish it off in the oven if you'd like. But I like to cook it on top of the stove for the entire cooking time. Now we're going to put our 4 to 5 cloves of garlic here. 4 to 6 actually. This is a rating of garlic, 4 to 6 cloves, and we'll just put them all over our onions so that our onions will smell delicious. So with my paella for the 90s, I'm using boneless type things. I'm using boneless chicken breast, boneless pork, and I'm also removing the peel from my shrimp. I wanted a very easy recipe that anyone could do at home and eat very easily. Now this chicken's already been rinsed, and you want to make sure you rinse it and pat it dry with paper towels, and I've already done that with this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to pound this little thing out here so that it will cook very quickly. We use a nice little flat meat mallet here, and we'll just pound that out gently. And there we go. And by the way, I do use these for exercise when I'm all done. I'll go jogging or I'll go grocery shopping. No, I don't. I'm kidding. You could use these for exercise if you wanted to. Alrighty, so we've got our chicken breast right there. And we've got some already done right here. And as a matter of fact, I better go ahead and pound these out a little bit too. No, I've done these already. These are ready to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to mix together our seasoning mixture here. Cook's treat right there. Let me move this out of the way and wash my hands. You always want to make sure that you wash your hands when you're handling chicken. You don't want to transfer bacteria to something else, and always use a clean cutting board each time. Okay, now we're going to get this mixture together. For our seasoning, we're going to need 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. There we go. Put that right. I got a little shaker bottle here that I'm putting this into, a little Parmesan cheese shaker. And I'm going to also put in there 1 teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to put in there 1 teaspoon of beautiful Hungarian paprika. And then we're going to put in there some black pepper, of course, about a 1/2 teaspoon. And then we're going to put in there a 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder. Okay, beautiful onion powder, very intense and good flavor. And then we're going to also put in there some cumin, 1/2 teaspoon of cumin. And no, you don't have to put all of this on there when it's done. You're probably thinking, whoa, that's a lot of spices. Alrighty, got our chili powder. We're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon. So we'll put that right in there. And a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Be careful not to, when you make sure this is cayenne, don't smell it. Whatever you do, you'll find out why. You don't want to smell cayenne pepper. Alrighty, we're going to take a little expandable measurer here, and we're going to measure in a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Alrighty, now we're just going to do the magic shake on this here. And the beauty of this recipe is you can do all this in advance, and you can fill this whole bottle up, just double or triple the recipe as you want to. And then you can just, whenever you're ready for your bronze chicken on the grill, all you have to do is shake and go. Or you could even take that and, put your name on it, and then just go ahead and give it away as a Christmas gift if you want to. That's something that you can do. We have a lot of shakers around here today, I tell you. Alrighty, now we've got our beautiful mixture there, and what we're going to do is take some margarine here and then just brush it over our chicken breasts. And this is to add a little moisture so that they won't get dry on us and help for the spices to adhere properly. And when you're blackening something, you generally will, of course, put butter on there instead, and that helps to burn it further. So I'm using margarine instead of butter. So that way we won't burn or set the smoke alarms off. There we go. Oh, that looks so good. You can just hit the door running and have this together right there. Alrighty. Now we're going to take our mixture, and you want to kind of make sure that you liberally shake this all over the chicken so that every single bite of that chicken has a taste of the seasoning mixture. Very easy. And there we go. And as you can see, I'm only doing one side to begin with. I've margarined both sides, but I'm not going to put seasoning on the other side until it gets on the grill. That way you won't waste any seasoning. If you turn it over, most of it's going to go on your cutting board. So we're going to put that on a nice little griddle here. I must talk about this. This is my favorite little griddle right here. I tell you true. Let me do this one here. This is by Nordic Ware, and it is a non-stick griddle. It fits over 2 burners, and it's non-stick, of course, very easy to clean, and I've done many things on it. I've done tortillas, pancakes, bronze chicken is one of my favorites, And I've even done fajita meat on there as well. And one thing you can do while I'm shaking this over here is you could do this in a cast iron skillet if you wanted to, or a nonstick pan if you wanted to. That is fine. When I was thinking a little earlier when I had these hush puppies out here, it felt kind of funny. I didn't have, it seemed like I didn't have enough batter. Well, then I remembered, in cooking class, when I do those in cooking class, I usually have to do a double recipe because everybody's so hungry, I have to make sure that I have enough for everybody. And that's, I guess, another reason why I like my griddle too, because for cooking class, I can get a lot on there and feed everybody. And so I hope to see you at a Cajun and Creole cooking class sometime. You can actually taste this. This is fabulous. Alrighty, so we've got our beautiful bronze chicken mixture on there. And I'll get my little cook's treat right there too. And we'll turn those in about 2 minutes. Now you need to cook them for about 3 to 4 minutes on each side until the chicken is no longer pink in the center, and that's when you know that they're in great shape and done. Now, while those are cooking, we're going to do a spicy butter to go with them. So let's take a look at the ingredients for those recipes. We're going to need, for our spicy butter, a stick of butter, softened, some coarsely ground black pepper, some garlic powder, cumin, fresh parsley chopped, and that's what we're going to need for our spicy butter. Now this is optional, you don't have to do this, but I really do feel that it gives that eye and ooh appeal, our lanyap for our little chicken breast. And let me just kind of take a look at them to see if I need to turn them. Yes, I do. Let's hear a big ooh from all of you out there. All right, that's what we need. Gotta have that ooh. All right. Oh, boy, that looks good. I'm so hungry. And then what we're going to do for our spicy butter is we're going to take 1 stick of butter and put in there some coarsely ground black pepper, some garlic powder, about 1/2 teaspoon. Now, for garlic lovers out there, yes, you may use fresh garlic if you want to. I tend to, a lot of times in my Cajun and Creole cooking, I'll use garlic powder too, as well as fresh garlic. And then we'll put in there a little bit of cumin for great flavor. You could put anything you want to in that spicy butter, but we're just kind of opting to put some of these ingredients in here that we are today. This is the way I generally do it. And let me just chop up this parsley for you here. There we go. And what this is going to do, it's going to really give you a pretty look for your butter. And gives it a nice speckled look of parsley. And so we'll put that right in there. And then we'll just mix that together. You can smell it already. There we go. Now, this is a compound butter that we're going to shape so that we can put it on medallions on our chicken. And what you need to do, you can serve it like that, and just spoon some on your chicken if you want to, or what you can do is shape it. And we'll take, in a little piece of waxed paper, we'll just go ahead, put that right on there. By the way, don't forget to take that butter out so it can soften. How many of you forget to do that? Oh, I do that so many times, but that old microwave comes in handy now, doesn't it? All right, take your wax paper, fold it right over, take a flat edge, and then just slide it like this nice little cushion hair baking sheet we're using today. And then you can refrigerate that until it's hard. And then what you do is you roll that up, refrigerate it. By the way, you can even freeze that. Here's your finished butter with the magic of television. And then we're just going to go ahead and cut some pieces off so that we can garnish our butter with it. So let's take now, our chicken looks great. We're going to take that right off and put it in our little pan to show you how this is going to look. All right. No longer pink in the center. That's what you want. Okay. Now we're going to take and put our butter on there for our look. Very nice, very easy. You could also do that in a sandwich if you want to, a nice onion bun or something like that. That would be really good. Welcome back, and look at this gravy. Boy, this is great gravy, nice and thick and rich. You season it with salt and pepper. Just wait till it comes up thickened, and you've got yourself a winner there. And just for fun, I think I'm just going to ladle a little bit of our gravy right over our chicken fried steak. There we go. That makes a beautiful steak there. So we've got our chicken fried steak. Now let's take a look at our dessert because we need our just dessert. Let's take a look at that peach cobbler recipe and the ingredients that we'll need. We'll need some sugar, cornstarch, cinnamon, nutmeg, sliced peaches, lemon juice, and for our crust we'll need some shortening, flour, sugar, baking powder, salt, and milk. We're going to start off first by doing the filling mixture. And there's two different types of peaches. There's a freestone peach and then there's a clingstone peach. And of course the freestone peach is where the pit just falls very easily from your peach. And the clingstone one, of course, is where it grabs onto it and won't let go. And that's the kind that I have today. And how many of you have ever had that where you had to peel a peach and the pit just wouldn't come out? Well, that's what we're going to tackle today. We've got a little peach right here. I'm just going to pull out from our little bounty of fresh produce here. And beautiful produce, and here's how we peel this. You just want to carefully cut around the pit as best as you can, and of course when this one is not quite very ripe too, so it tends to cling even more so, and that's okay though. With cooking peaches like we're going to be doing, I don't mind them to be a little underripe. It's a lot better. I'd rather them be underripe than overripe for cooking. And then take them, turn them like so, and then just carefully cut them into slices like so. There we go. And by the way, you know, waste not, want not, of course. What would you think you could do with that little pit right here that still has some of that good peach flesh on there? Well, you know what the word is. It's called nibble inward. That's what you have to do. That is your cook's treat, and you have to nibble inward on that one. So I'll let y'all take care of that one at home. Alrighty, now we have our peaches, and we're going to put them in a bowl that I already have my peaches ready to go. If you want to hold your peaches for any length of time, put them in a bowl with cold water and a little bit of lemon juice, and that will help them to stay a little bit better. Now what we're going to do in a pan, making our filling, we're going to put in there 1/2 cup of sugar and 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, delicious cinnamon. Very good flavor. We're also going to put some nutmeg in there. And here's what nutmeg looks like, of course, whole. And I love to freshly grate it because it's got such a fresh flavor. And when you grate it, you can, this is a little Xylus grater, which works very handy. And it's knuckle proof, of course, so you could just do that and have your fresh nutmeg. And I'm just going to do some right over here. Fantastic. And by the way, they do carry the wonderful Xylus products at the kitchen store. And we're also going to take and put a little bit of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice. There we go. And that will help to preserve the color of the peaches. There we go. And then we're going to put our peaches all in here, into the sugar and into the nutmeg. And you know, I probably have more than 4 cups here, but you know, I did that on purpose so that I would make sure that I would get my share of cobbler when it came out of the oven, because there's a lot of hungry people around here, and I just don't know sometimes if I'm going to ever eat around here. So what we're going to do is we're going to heat this up on a medium-low temperature until the sugar dissolves, and then we're going to cook it for about 2 to 3 minutes until the peaches have a chance to soften a bit and just give off their delicious juices. Very juicy and sweet. Okay, there we go. Now while that is cooking, we're going to get our crust together. Actually, I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do a little sidetrack here. Before we do the crust, I'm going to show you a little fun garnish. You know, with Southern cooking, making it special at the table is very, very, simple to do. And we're going to make a little bird here today. See this little yellow squash? We're going to magically transform this into a bird. We're going to take this little top right there and cut a flat edge for the bottom. And then we're going to cut in some wings with our knife using a very thin, sharp knife. And then with our wings, what we're going to do is we're going to cut just a little portion off so that they will stick on to our bird easier. And then cut in, making some jagged edges into your wings so that they will fly away. And then you need to take some toothpicks here, and I'm just going to stick one toothpick right in the middle, and then we can just go ahead and put the wings on to the bird right here. There we go. Now we need to make a head for it. You know how that goes. It does need to be able to see. Now we're going to take a little, this is my favorite vegetable peeler. My wonderful adopted mom, Jimmy, gave me this, and I love it. It is very easy to use, very comfortable, by good grips. And we're just going to peel this nicely. If you have KP duty in the kitchen, boy, I tell you, this is going to save your life in a pinch. This lady, wonderful lady, she peeled about 20 pounds of potatoes and 20 carrots with this little peeler and just kept going and going. So I thought, hey, she can do it, I can do it. All right, now we're gonna make our little beak right there. And I'm gonna make some feet as well. So you wanna cut a little edge off for the feet and a little for the beak, and then the rest you just save for later. Now we're gonna cut for the feet, cut that in half, and then cut in some cute little webs for your feet. And then those will stick on with toothpicks for our feet. This poor little bird has big feet. Oh well, that's all right. He doesn't mind, does he? There we go. All righty, there's 1 foot, size 9. And then we're gonna take, and to make a little beak, we're just gonna shape this a little bit with our vegetable peeler. And then I'm going to very simply cut in to the carrot, give him a big mouth. There we go. And then we're going to take, you always put the toothpick on the carrot first in this instance, and that way it'll go on very easy. And then just push it right in there. And of course now he's got to see, right? Well, all right. Now we're going to take some cute little cloves. These are whole cloves. And we're just going to put them in there so that he will be able to see, okay? All righty, there we go. Can you see him? We'll put him right here, and there's him. That is our bird for today, and he is going to guard over our cobbler so that no one gets it before I get a little bit, okay? See, I work these things out. All right, so we've got our little bird right then and there. Now we're gonna work on our crust very quickly here. We're gonna take for our crust, we're going to need 3 tablespoons of shortening and 1 cup of flour, and we're going to put that right in there. And I'm just going to blend this with a pastry blender until it resembles little crumbs. I guess that's a word to say. I had a cooking class student that's like, well, how do you know, what it's supposed to look like in the flour? How do you know whether it's blended well enough or not? Well, I say, as long as it kind of looks crumbly, almost like cornmealish kind of, that's a good way of looking at it. You want to make sure there's no big hunks or pieces of your shortening in there. You want it all mixed in very easily, okay? And the little pastry blender that we're using, you could use 2 forks or a spoon or 2 knives if you wanted to, but I do like the charm that this gives. Okay, now we're going to add in there a tablespoon of sugar. There we go. And then we're also going to add in there a teaspoon and a half of baking powder. And it's always a good idea to check your baking powder and make sure that it's fresh and good. Okay. And, one way that you can check, and I think I will do this for y'all, is you can check it by putting it in some hot water. Just put about a teaspoonful in some hot water. And what that'll do, if it foams up, then you're in business. You can cook. But if it doesn't, then you know it's time to get some new. So we'll just fill a little bit of warm water here, and we'll get an action shot here. Cooking action shot. There we go. It's bubbling. And our bird is watching over it. There we go. That's sizzling. Can you hear it? I hope you can. That is sizzling. So we've got our baking powder in check, and we're going to need a half a teaspoon of salt as well. So we will put that right in there, half a teaspoon of salt. And then we're going to mix that together. And I'm going to tidy up a little bit before I mix that up. Messy, messy, messy. Okay. Of course, when you're mixing something like this, you want to make sure that you have all your dry ingredients mixed together first. You don't want any clumps of baking powder somewhere else, and so that when you put the milk in there, maybe some parts will be puffed up and some won't be. Very, very important. Alrighty, now what we're going to do is add our milk to this. We've got 1/2 cup of milk, and then we're just going to stir that up together and make a nice little biscuit topping for our cobbler. And we'll check. Just stir that together and just moisten. Don't over mix it or else it'll be lumpy and hard. You don't want to do that. Let's check our peaches here. They look wonderful. And I'm going to go ahead now and take our beautiful peaches and put them into a nice little baking dish here. And then we're going to put our biscuit topping right over it. Oh boy, I think that I might share this, I might not. We'll see, we'll see. Oh boy, those luscious peach juices there. We'll just spoon our topping right over it in nice big spoonfuls, big dollops. There we go. And what this needs to do now, it needs to bake in a 400-degree oven for approximately 25 to 30 minutes until it's golden brown on the top and it's nice and bubbly. So that's what you want to do, 400 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes until it's nice golden brown and bubbly. There we go. Move that out of the way. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in the oven, and then I'll show you the other one in just a second, but I'm going to show you one more garnish before we leave today. So let me get that out for you. Here we go. We're going to have a little visitor for our bird because, you know, he can't just get lonely there now, can he? We're going to make a cute little mouse here, and you just need to take a radish and then take another radish and then cut some ears for him, and then take very simply where the little stem comes out there and then cut into his head right here, and then just go ahead and stick your ears right in there. Stick those ears right in there. And that's a very simple, quick, fun garnish. Now you could put eyes for him too, but I recommend if you do put eyes, you want to make sure you make a little hole first because they're very difficult to push in by yourself. Okay? So now we've got our mouse to go with that, and also we're going to show you that cobbler. I promised you that I would, so let's show it to you. And then we'll recap our recipes very quickly. We have our steak with the gravy and our luscious peach cobbler ready to go. I've had such a great time cooking with you today, and until next time, this is Carol Ritchie, and it's good to have you cooking with Carol.
To pick up a copy of today's recipes, stop by the Kitchen Store at 4786 Little Road in Lincoln Court. To order Carol's cookbook, send $9.95 to Cookin' with Carol, Post Office Box 6332, Arlington, Texas 76005.